Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Nice to see everyone.
Good to see you too.
Okay, you may have noticed that I changed the title of this workshop. It was put out there as Exercise and Weight Loss, which is a talk that we've done quite a bit. But the more I thought about it, I changed it to Exercise and Maintaining a Healthy Weight. Because there's a lot of things that a person can do to lose weight that are actually going to be very healthy, right? If you just starve yourself and don't eat anything, you will lose weight. So we're going to be just taking a little bit of a different approach in that regard. Okay, and this is it's a pretty popular topic. It always has been, the years that we've done this. But what I want to talk about is, what is your reason why? Some people, they want to just be active. They want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. If we just want to lose weight, what is it? You just want to, look different. We want to look like movie stars. You got to think about everything that is kind of put out there in our society, the way we're supposed to look, what we're supposed to dress like. So I put this on here because the origin, I think about this a lot. The origin of the word human is from two words. Humus and man. Humus meaning of the earth or dirt, right? So your physical body is actually made of all the elements found here on earth, right? And man, which is the spiritual component of you. And that's the important thing. Like, this is your vehicle. You need both. This is your vehicle. That's what you are here to, get around with and fulfill your purpose. But without the spiritual component or that life component inside of you, this is just a cadaver. Right? So think about that. You got to keep in mind, what is my purpose here on earth? Love yourself first, and then the right reasons for doing these things are going to follow. So anytime you want to restore health or maintain health, the reason for that is you have a purpose to fulfill here on planet Earth. Okay, so, you can't fulfill your purpose if you have lost your health. Okay? Well, hopefully that makes sense to everybody. We'll kind of, that'll be the silver thread of a lot of what we touch on. Okay, so, and this should all be in your handout, but an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You guys have heard that before, right? So it's always going to be easier to maintain your health than just let health just totally slide down until you get a total breakdown. Just like with your vehicle. It's easier to maintain it, to change the oil as time goes on, rather than just never do anything and let the engine totally lock up. It's going to be a lot more expensive of a fix that way as well. You guys have probably heard this one as well. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. That was a long time ago when Thomas Edison lived, right? Doesn't say the doctor of the future will give you super pills that created by Merck and Big Pharma that are going to give you health. You don't have to do anything for your health. Super pills. Okay, and Hippocrates, right? Considered like the father of medicine. If we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment, nutrition, right, and exercise, not too little, not too much, we'd have the safest way to health. I think that's a pretty good foundation to start with. Okay. So this is going all the way back to our first workshop in the year. Was anybody there? The Philosophy of Health and Wellness, Dr. Bemis was there. Well, you're going to have to go to YouTube as soon as you get home. Dirk Dulmes, that's the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and like the videos. Okay, anyway, there's basically two philosophies in health. Inductive reasoning, let's touch on that one first. That's basically authority figures telling you what to do and telling you what's going on and basically making decisions for you. For example, what is normal blood pressure? Just yell it out, it's okay.
120/80.
120/80. Now, the answer, or the question is, where, everyone thought that, right? First of all, 120/80. Where did that number come from? The number came from an authority figure at some point in your life told you that's what normal blood pressure is. Even though each one of us is an absolute individual, and blood pressure and heart rate and cholesterol levels and all these different scores are different for each one of us. Okay? So inductive reasoning works very well for mechanics. Like the sum is equal to the whole of its parts, like in mechanics, like your vehicle. You could take it all apart and put it all back together again. But that doesn't really hold true for living organisms because not every single person reacts the same when they do a study on even an aspirin. Every single person is vastly, vastly different. So a deductive approach is what we want to do. We want to take ownership and work to know our own self. And that's what you guys are doing tonight. You took time out of your week to come here and spend it with us. So, hopefully we're going to provide some value. But this is also a huge, huge thing. You have to understand that when you're seeing your doctors and you're coming to these workshops, it's really about teaching you so that you can be your own best doctor, right? Learning how to listen to your own body. And I know that we're all at different stages when it comes to that, but it's a very important key. Okay, there's also two approaches to health, reactive and proactive. We already talked about this, like with your vehicle, right? Are you going to sit there and drive it until it breaks down and then react to the problem? Or are you going to be proactive along the way? Which is your vehicle is going to run better, it's going to last longer, and it's not going to cost you as much than if something totally breaks down. Okay? So a lot of this flows with the next workshop that we're doing as well, it's actually going to be the third Monday of the month because of the holiday. It's going to be July 15th. It's Detox and Purification, which is also a really popular one. If you guys have interest in that, it's July 15th. It's Monday night. I'm pretty sure I have that date right. And I think Brenda has a sign-up sheet already at the front if you want to get reminders for it and things like that. Okay, but things that are decreasing our state of health, pesticide use, fertilizers, antibiotics used in the livestock, right? 70% of all antibiotics used in this nation, 70% are used on our livestock. Okay? Genetically modified crops, livestock, cloned meat, stuff that's not even allowed in most countries on the planet. Right? Okay, additives, preservatives, that's been around for a long, long time. Artificial sweeteners as well. And of course pollution, and then increased amounts of prescription meds. These are all things that the body's taking in and has to do something with. It affects your health. Okay? So I put this is all in there. If the writing's a little small, it's all in your handout. If anybody that's watching this online wants a copy of this, they can just email our office and we can send you the PDF. Okay, but just a few things for like when you're looking at your nutrition content. So free contains no amount or only a trivial amount of that. Fat-free, for example. If it says it's high in something, that means it contains 20% or more of your daily value of a particular nutrient in that serving. Good source means 10 to 20%. Okay, reduced contains at least 25% of a nutrient. Okay. And then light, nutritionally altered product contains a third fewer calories or half of the fat of the reference for that food. Sodium content of low calorie, low fat food has been reduced by 50%. I know this is exactly what you guys are wanting to know. Next time you go to the grocery store, you're going to be reading this on your labels. But that's why I put it in the handout, because it's something you can reference back to. Okay? And if it says healthy, must be, there's a couple of different points with that. Low in fat, low in saturated fat, contain limited amounts of cholesterol and sodium, must provide at least 10% or more of vitamins A, C, iron, calcium, protein, and fiber. Okay? Now, organic. Isn't it impressive that we have to have this term called organic, because most of the stuff that's in the store is not organic. Right? It's grown without use of pesticides, fertilizers, human industrial waste, additives, antibiotics, growth hormone, genetic modifications. And if it says organic on the package, there's a lot of stuff that they have to go through to be able to have their packaging say organic on it. 95% organic ingredients. So the way that I look at this, because I'm kind of, I don't have time to try and think about all these things, is if I don't want to put any of this in my body, this is what I want my packaging to say, for the most part. That's why I love this time of year when the gardens are going, It's fantastic. Okay, and of course, there's other things you guys have heard about, a lot of these different things, which we can just move on through. So, general rule, if the ingredients are a really long list, stuff that you can't pronounce, probably a lot of chemical additives in it, and even if it is a short list, it may or may not contain harmful additives. So, just read your labels carefully. All right, let's move on from that. So, exercise and maintaining a healthy weight has a lot to do with proper nutrition. Okay? Have you ever heard the term or the phrase, abs are made in the kitchen? That's so true. It's a big part of it because, you're regulating your intake and getting control of that is a huge part of this. It's half of it. Okay, but just some very basics here, right? And again, everything that's on here isn't Dr. Dirk saying, this is what you must do. This is just some guideline and some ideas. The whole idea is to tune into your own body's innate intelligence and tune into what your body is telling you what you need. You are a unique individual. For example, it says water intake, maybe you guys have heard this, it's about half of your ideal body weight in fluid ounces. Right? That's pretty specific. Like I'm 165, so the 82.5 fluid ounces. Do I make sure I drink that every single day? No, I don't do that. How do you know if you're hydrated enough during the day?
Have to go to the bathroom.
When you go to the bathroom, it should be pretty clear, right? If it's 5 o'clock p.m. and everything's still yellow, you know you haven't had enough hydration throughout the day. That's the easiest way. Okay? And clean, organic if possible. Meats, 1 to 2 servings. How big is a serving?
Teeny.
It's about, yeah. It kind of depends, but like smaller than your hand. All right, 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. How many of us get that? A couple in here, that's good. I think I'm probably around 5 or 6. So that's why most of us need supplementation, which we'll talk about in a second. Avoiding or strict moderation of unauthorized foods. Again, that's kind of bleeding into the talk for next time, detox and purification, and talking about what unauthorized foods actually are. If anyone really wants, the information on that, I can get it to you. But that will be the talk in July. Supplementation, phytonutrients, which is basically all the stuff that you're getting out of your fruits and vegetables, omega-3 fatty acids, which fish oil, that's what that is, right? And then multivitamin. Okay? Exercise and activity is a huge part of, which that's going to be the next talk, or the next topic, next slides here. But exercise and activity is a huge part of you metabolizing properly. Okay, and on the bottom it also says twice yearly detox. Again, that's something that we're going to talk about at the very next wellness workshop. Okay. And I love this. Look at what's at the foundation of everything. We're talking about health. This is specifically about exercise, maintaining a healthy weight, which are just some components, some aspects of health, right? But the basics, or the basis, the foundation of all this is living with love, right? You can't be healthy if you don't love yourself. You can't love others if you don't love yourself. Okay, so purpose. What is purpose? It's the reason you're here. Okay, it's the reason something was created. What's the purpose of your chair? It's for you to sit on. It was designed very specifically so a person can sit on it. So everybody has a purpose. It's the reason you were designed, the reason you are here. And then discipline. Okay, this is a big part of it too. It's like if you want to make some changes in your health, if you want massive changes, you have to be disciplined. You basically have to say, I'm deciding right now, and there's nothing that's going to get in my way. I'm not going to have any counter intentions. You know what that is? If we have an intention to do something, that's usually what your purpose is guiding you to do. But then we come up with counter intentions. Your counter intentions are all those little reasons that you tell yourself why it's not going to work. This has been a very important thing for me when it's kind of brought to my awareness of like meeting your goals. I never really knew how many counter intentions, that I could have, like undermining my own goals and everything. You come up with an idea, like it would be really great to do this. If you have the idea to do something, you already have the ability to do it. That's already inside of you. But then if you come up with the counter intentions, that's usually so subtle that you don't even realize that you're just chipping away the whole foundation until you decide you never even take that first step in doing it. So if it comes to, say you want to lose weight, first of all, what's the reason? Is it out of love for myself, or is it because I want to look like a movie star? If it's for a good purpose, then we need to not let any of those counter intentions get in the way. Okay? Breathe, think, drink, sleep, eat, move, function, and talk well. Threw this one in here too because what you say determines what you're going to have. So speaking things out, you're really sealing the deal. So especially when relating back to those counter intentions. Okay? Supplementation, we talked about this already. Fruits and vegetables, we talked about this. Lean, clean proteins, unprocessed, gluten-free grains, and then the pure fats. 1-to-1 ratio omega-3 to omega-6. Okay, so this is in your handout as well. It's something you might want to revisit from time to time. Okay. Switching to the exercise portion, okay? Because regular exercise is an absolute vital part of a healthy, proactive lifestyle. And most people don't have any regular exercise program at all. And I think maybe that's why some people come to this type, because they want to try and get some ideas, some encouragement. Okay? And those who do choose to exercise, they're going to do that without really maximizing their time or getting the most out of their workouts. The big thing that I can suggest with this is pick activities that you enjoy. If you want to set up something that's regular and making it part of your lifestyle, you can't detest doing it. You can't do like, oh man, I got to get on that elliptical machine. Or it would be like the treadmill for me. Like you won't pretty much ever see me on a treadmill because I really just don't like sitting there running in place. It feels very unnatural to me. I do like running, but mostly in the trails. Okay, so you have to pick things that you enjoy. If it's walking, that's great. If it's hiking, that's great. Okay? The benefits of exercise, which I think we all kind of have somewhat of an idea of the benefits. Increase in the metabolic rate. So what is that? Your metabolism is you burning the calories, utilizing the calories that you put into your body in the form of nutrition and turning that into new cells, okay? You are burning calories 24 hours a day. Not just in that 45 minutes when you're at the gym. Okay? You're burning calories. So the idea behind some of this, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but increasing the metabolic rate, it's basically, think of it like a furnace. And the more that your muscles are toned and that you utilize them, the more that they are burning energy 24 hours a day. Okay? So if you can get on a regular exercise program, basically think of it like stoking that furnace. Okay? Increasing growth hormone, reducing stress levels. This is a huge one. This is if there's any reason to get on a regular exercise regimen, this is probably one of the biggest ones, because that will actually help to release. You can release emotionally. And you can, it's just having the breathing rate going up and down is a big way to just, lower heart rate, lower all the physiological aspects of the stress response, but also it can be the mental, emotional aspects of it too. Okay? Increasing blood flow to the brain, increasing alertness. I don't know, you guys seem pretty alert. I don't know if anyone in this room needs that. Okay, but it's just it's kind of along the same lines. Like your mental acuity is going to be increased. with a regular exercise regimen. If you're feeling sluggish, if you have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning, and you're like, oh, I don't even know if I have the energy to exercise, well, that's a pretty good sign that you need to get the body moving. You'll start sleeping better. Okay? Improving cholesterol, improving digestion, and of course, it's going to boost your immune function. All these things kind of go hand in hand. If we're living a sedentary lifestyle, oftentimes that goes along with dietary choices and things like that are not ideal. And that's the sort of things that are going to be all the opposite of these. Right? Okay. So, again, this is just some ideas. This isn't saying this is exactly what you need to do. I can pretty much guarantee you that if you have health goals and you stuck to this for 12 weeks, you'd see amazing changes. Okay? But proper exercise program is going to be a combination of cardiovascular exercise and weight training, or let's just say resistance training. Okay? You don't necessarily need to go into the gym and start working with the dumbbells and things like that, but some form of resistance training, working all the different areas in the body, which we'll talk about in a second. Ideal schedule of 3 days on the weights or resistance training, 3 days of cardiovascular, and then a 1 day of rest. Okay? And then, of course, proper diet and nutrition. This isn't us doing a great exercise program and then hitting McDonald's on our way back every single day. Right? Proper diet and nutrition is a must. Unauthorized versus unauthorized foods. Again, just a little plug for next month's Advanced Wellness Workshop. Okay. The chart's on the left, if you can read that. It's in your handout. Just as an example, like we talked about. 3 days of resistance training and 3 days of cardiovascular. The 3 days that you're doing resistance or weight training should be alternating the areas in the body. So, for example, day 1, upper body, day 3, lower body, day 5, upper body. And then on week 2, it would be just the opposite, right? So you'd be doing the lower body twice, upper body once. And then you see every other day cardiovascular. The resistance training should be probably somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes, depending on everything that you want to do. Of course, you can start off lower than that. And then one of the best ways, there's a lot of different ways to do cardiovascular exercise. A lot of different ways. Not saying that this is the best or that this is the best for you. This is what I've found to be a very, very effective way. I got this from the Body for Life book years and years ago. So it's something that I prefer to do. It's 20 minutes. That's probably one of the main reasons I like doing it. It's because I don't want to sit on a stair climber for 45 minutes to 60 minutes like you see some people do. I just don't want to do that. But you can see that as we go up the graph, so intensity level, and then it goes for 20 minutes. So basically every 5 minutes what you're doing is building up to an intensity of about 9 out of 10 intensity for you. That you could do this with walking, speed walking, or whatever you want to do. I tend to do it on the elliptical when I'm doing it. I like doing it on that because I can kind of see my revolutions per minute, and that gives me an objective number to follow that I know I'm climbing up. Okay? And then getting to the last minute is going to be a 10 out of 10 intensity, and then just a cool down after that. Does that make sense to everybody? 20 minutes, 3 times a week. This is a very, very good way to get your cardio in. Okay, but again, it's not the only way. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Okay. So really, if you have some goals, you have something that you want to do, you have something you want to accomplish, whether it's just getting your heart in better shape, or you want to be around for grandkids in the future, or you want to take some weight off or whatever, so that's a little easier on the joints and the back and things like that. Decide. First of all, make the decision that you're going to do it. No one's going to tell you any differently. You're not going to listen to any counterintentions even that you may come up with. You're just going to decide. If you have somebody that you can do it with, sometimes that can be a beneficial thing, but sometimes people can also let you down. So it's also like, hey, if you're going to do it, you can't always depend on even the spouse because that might be a counterintention. Okay? It's going to consist of proper nutrition and a proper exercise regimen. Okay? If you, like we talked about in the stretching workshop, if you miss a day, don't just throw the whole thing down the tank either. Just start new. Every day is a new day, right? Tomorrow's a new day. I remember my mother saying that many, many times when she put me to bed when I was a child. It's funny, I heard my brother say that to his kids. Tomorrow's a new day when he puts them to bed. And it's true, and you think about it. It's like whatever happened today, tomorrow's a new day. So you can't just, you missed a day, you missed a week because you're on vacation, you're eating out and stuff. Whatever. Pick yourself back up and start where you left off. Okay? Nobody is perfect, okay? Nobody is going to just power through this, especially if you are not used to having some sort of exercise regimen and some type of nutritional regimen. And remember, it's got to come from the right place and the right reasons too. We don't need to look like movie stars. Okay? We're all beautiful people just the way that we look and the way that we are. Okay? So make sure you got the right reason for doing it, and that makes a big difference too. Okay, so just in closing, summary of the key points, some of this we just talked about. Loving yourself. Make the decision. Don't look back. Identify counterintentions. This is really important, not just with exercise and dietary sort of thing, but in anything with reaching your goals in life. It's one of the most important things I could try to get across to you is try to identify counterintentions in your life. You've got to talk to the right people too. People that empower you, not people that give you reasons why they think you're not going to be able to succeed. And that can happen too. Stick with the things that you enjoy. Okay, if you don't like kale, you want to start a new dietary regimen and you don't like kale, well, then you should have came to the superfoods workshop that Dr. Bemis put on because he went through some different ways that you can have that. But anyway, also on YouTube. Okay, being deductive with your reasoning and proactive with your health. Right? Tuning into your own body and making decisions that are proactive in nature, not just waiting for something to fail from not paying attention to it. Okay? Your body has the inborn ability to heal. It doesn't forget how to do that. That's the way it's designed. You cut a finger, you never have to think about healing your finger. You just basically assume it's going to heal. Ever think about how amazing that is? It's amazing. But that your body is always trying to do the right thing. So if we tune into that, you're going to be a lot healthier as time goes on. And healing always takes time, and expect changes. If you're doing the right things, the law of life is a law. It's a universal principle that you can't change. Okay, so if you are doing the right things, if you're avoiding the unauthorized foods, which you guys are probably all wondering what that is, basically, let's just summarize that as all the junk that you know you're not supposed to put in your body. Coca-Cola. And on and on and on it goes, right? If you are, all of a sudden let's just say we drastically decrease unauthorized foods and we come up with an exercise regimen, you know in 3 months from now you're going to have changes. You can expect it. That's the way the body works. Okay, it's predictable if you know how the law of life works. Okay, so the sign-up sheet for next month's workshop is out front. If you guys have any interest, I'm sure Brenda could help you with that. Thank you very much for your time and attention. If you have any questions for myself or Dr. Bemis, we can stick around for a little while as well. All right, thank you.
Thank you.